Okay, what's up, everybody? Uh, we we are done with the authentication pages. What we're going over to now is implementing the home screen, where the chat forums will be displayed. Like if you're in this forum called any type of forum, like a group name, where to be displayed. So we are done with the authentication screen. So uh, first of all, we need to add in our Gradle script. We do not have, we have the hilt, dagger hilt, we have Firebase all the analytics, and then the bomb, and then we also have our hilt, Android Jetpack Compose, basically Jetpack Compose navigation. So we'll be making use of the Firebase database, Firebase real-time database. So in order to add the dependency for that, head over to your Chrome, you write your Firebase. Then you click on Go to Console. Then you select that particular project. I think mainly well, for me it's not here, so I'll go to my chat application. Bring this out. So under the build folder, we will select real-time database. So the real-time database will store both the chat messages and the chat groups or the chat forums. You click on create database to create a database. You don't change this, just leave it as in this is the real-time database location. So your database instance is in the United States. We'll start in test mode so we can write and read to the database. Now you see read, these are the rules. So now, which is this number just refers to this number, this date or this timestamp. So we'll be able to read from this database and also make changes to it, which is right, as long as the date in which the database was created doesn't exceed this, although you can change it in your rules. So this is 18th of December this year, which is 2025. So we're enable. And then your real-time database is created. So this is how it looks for now, although you see some hierarchy of I don't want to say documents, because if I say document, that would be for Firestore. So we do not have the dependency for this yet. So head over to help Firebase developer documentation page. So what you don't really know about some tools in Firebase, you can go to the documentation page and read it. So under the build folder, which is the top one, over the build folder, you can see all the old services Firebase provides to you. So app check, app hosting, authentication, fast or GenKit hosting, phone number verification, and all those things. So we now are interested in the real time database. So uh, we can view docs. I think they changed the page because that's not how it was before. So we'll click on Android because we are making an Android app. So as you can see, he also works on different languages slash frameworks. Depends on what you want to do. This web, Flutter, admin. I don't know what admin is. This REST. I think it is REST API, C++, Unity. So yeah. So you can read all of this, although I think I've given you the summary of it. So we only copy this. We won't copy the top because we already have it in our dependencies. So this Firebase bomb is just any Firebase service you're using. You do not have to specify the version you are using. The Firebase bomb specifies the version for you. So in this case, this is 34.6.0, but this is the updated. But in ours, I think ours is 34.1.0. So yeah, so you click this, you put this inside your build or Gradle module, the app level. So sync now. So what this will go ahead and do is download the Firebase database dependency. Shouldn't really take time depending on your network. So build successful. So that's very nice. So you can go ahead to close this. Then in our feature package, let me just collapse this. We'll create another package because we are separating separation of for instance, authentication should be in its own package. Authentication pages, field home page should be in its own package. So we're separating it for like somewhat clean architecture. So right, feature the home as in a package name. Then the first thing we'll create here is a file called home screen, and this will be a composable called home screen. We'll do away with this. So first of all, what I really like doing is writing the business logic first, then we'll incorporate it into the UI. So create a class, in this case home view model. Then this will extend from the view model library, and also don't forget to annotate this with hilt view model. So what we're essentially doing is we are tying the life cycle of a view model to hilt view model. So that's like its business, because in normal Android with XML, we'll be using a view model provider class to either get or create an instance of the view model, but in this case we are using hilt, dagger hilt, so that's why we have to annotate that class with hilt view model. Then hilt will take care of that for us. So inject constructor. So this is really necessary. So out alternative enter to import the class, not jakarta.inject but java x dot inject. So the first thing we have here should be our state. So private var state is equal to mutable state flow. Mutable state flow, and what we have here should be an empty list. So I will import it with an empty list. So we need to specify what this class will extend, or in this case, yeah, what this class will extend. Or is it class? Okay, rather is a method. So what this method will extend? So that will be a list of our model class. So in our feature or overhead, we will create a package, call it model. Inside the model, we will create a Kotlin class and name it channel. So this is actually a data class, since we want to store data in this class. So data class channel, and what this will contain is var id is of type string, and we give it an empty string for now, and also val name. So this is the ID of a specific channel. So we will listen the ID in case we want to uh, tap on the channel. So we'll get the channel by its ID to display the messages in that channel, and then there's the name of the channel. So val created at is of type date java.u2. So this will be system dot current time millis. Okay, sorry, this will be long. Now we'll then go back to our home view model, and then since we will need to get a so many channels, so we'll store that in this data structure list, and this list will extend from our channel class. So that's all. Then we will also need our state, but the read-only type of state. So our state flow. So what this simply does is it transforms this underscore state variable, which is used to update the value inside the mutable state flow, into a readable flow only, meaning we can't use this state. We can't use this state here to update the value of this here. This is only readable. As said in the documentation, represent this mutable state flow as read-only state flow. So that's what that means. So we'll create another variable, call it private val fire base data base, and then this will be this the value of this will be firebase dot database. So this is we are getting the instance of the real-time database we just created. So this will be able to interact with whatever will be in our real-time database class. So first of all, create a method add channel, and then we will need a name. So channel, we'll just give it of type string for now. So what this will do is we'll first need to get the key of the of our Firestore database. For instance, we will when we are storing the values in the Firebase, when we're storing the records in our Firebase database or Firestore real-time database, anything you want to call it, we won't really store it in the same uh, in the same collection. Rather, we'll separate it with its own unique key. So you will understand that, but I will explain that later. So Firebase database. So we'll get the reference. So it will have a reference, meaning one parent's reference that we house the child references. So we'll call this channel, and then we'll call push.key. So we've gotten the key. So this will be Firebase database dot set or dot Firestore database dot get reference. Sorry, dot channel dot set value. We'll set the value to channel. Then we'll add on success listener. So we'll do that later. The success listener. So the key, we didn't really make use of the key. So we'll change it to channel, which is from this. And then Okay, okay, so let's just leave it like this. Then the next thing we will do is create a method to get channel. Okay, fun gets channel. So we get all, basically get all the channel for this. So this doesn't really need a parameter up here. So first of all, overhead, what we will do is we'll create a list of type mutable list of the channel. So this is what we extend for now. Then we will then call our Firebase database dot get reference from our channel dot get dot add on success listener. So this will be, I'll just give it a name, data, not data snapshot, just simple something like data. So data dot children dot for each, meaning we are running a for each loop or the children in the database. So for what I said, this channel is the parents record, which will house all the channel names. But the channel names won't just be like that. Rather, they will be separated by what? By a key, and this key is always randomly generated. So Firebase.get reference the channel. So we need to add dot child here, and then we'll call this key. So this is an error. Argument type, the actual type is string, but okay, this is so make this not to be null, meaning it has to be it can't be null, it has to actually have a value. So Firebase database will get reference, this reference, then child, meaning any we'll first of all get the key. When we get the key, we will then set the value of the channel underneath. So data, so back to get the channel, data.children for each. So val channel is equal to channel. So this is an instance of the channel class in which the first of all store the ID as ID is equal to data dot key. So this will not be null. Then name is equal to data dot value dot to string. So next thing we are doing is list dot add, or add the channel. So after we add the channel, next thing we are doing is that after we are done adding the channel in this method, we will call the get channel class. So everything we have done is basically when we are done adding the channel, we will call the get channel method. So now we will need to update the value of this state to the value of whatever we get in the real-time database. So we'll do that by state.value is equal to list. So that will be all. So state.value is equal to list. I don't really know why this is showing loop parameter it is unused. Okay, sorry, this is supposed to be it, then this is supposed to be it too. Instead of this data is just for getting the snapshot of the data in our Firebase real-time database. Then we then update the states, immutable state flow, the value should be this. So each time it fetches a new record, this should be basically updated. So I think with this we are basically done with our business logic for the home screen. So in the home screen, what I want is just basically a very, very simple home screen. So first thing we are doing is we'll create a preview so that I'll be able to preview whatever we're writing. So default preview, and then we'll call the home screen. It's as simple as that. So in this we'll show the background to choose. So whatever background we've stated, that will be the background of whatever will be displayed in this place. So the first thing we're starting with a is a scaffold. Okay, let's wait for this to gradually be able to finish running. So we'll clear the scaffold so we won't run into any errors basically. So this is downloading something for some reason, so just wait. Still running, so I think this will take me a long time. So let me see if I can like pause this. There's no pause for some reason. There's only stop recording. So although I think I will cut this in the video. If I don't, then just watch it. So this are warnings, not really an error. Source 8 values obsolete and removed in a future release. So this is done, successful is done. So this is showing up today. So here we can then go ahead and scaffold. So this scaffold will give this a modifier. This modifier will not modify local bounds there. I don't know what that is. So this will fill the max size of our application. Then what will be underneath the scaffold will be a column, which will have a modifier also. The first thing we are doing is that we are also filling the max size. Then we'll have our padding, and then we'll set it to it. So where this it is basically coming from is from this scaffold. You know, this so it's a scoping function in which has a value inside. So if you should hover around the scaffold, you should see padding values, exactly padding content. So this is the only this is one of the composable we have in which we are using the content. So the content that is inside the scaffold, and it's annotated with a composable which has padding values as a value. So we can either write in a name like this, padding values, then give it to it. Then what this will do is that we won't make use of the it again, so we use padding values. So the reason I wrote this for it to just basically understand why this is it. So I want a black background. So we'll call not we'll call background and then we'll call color. So the color basically has to be from Android-ness.compose, because we are doing compose, so you can't import from any other place. So color.black. So this is loading, so as you can see it's now black. So we'll reset this to normal. Then now what we will do next is let's create like a top, a basically a search bar. So that will be like we'll make use of the outline text field. The text field they have a value. For now we don't have a value. Then the next is on value change, and then we have a placeholder. So let me declare those val search, or let me just call it val query is equal to remember mutable state of empty string. Then inside this value I remove this and write query dot value, and then on value change will be query dot value is equal to 8, meaning what anything the value of this text field, no, this state wants to state. So the value in this variable query, that's what you will see will appear in the outline text field, but in this case we don't have a value. So whatever the user writes in this text field, that will be automatically be the value of this query. Although if you write something inside here, that will be the default value that will run the application. So query value is equal to it. So on value change, meaning when I type something in my keyboard, it should update the value of query, it should append a character to it. So that's it. The placeholder is a composable so of type text. So we'll just call it. We'll just write search like that. So next thing we are doing is that we want this to fully occupy the width. We want it to occupy the width of the screen instead of it being like this. So call modifier, scroll to modifier. I don't know why this likes modifier dot fill max width will call that method. So this is very long, so I will just separate it here. So when am I done with that? One thing you will notice is that it's starting from the beginning, like basically the beginning of the width of the phone screen, like from here. So we want to have like a space from the top and to the left to be for the text field to be compressed. So in the overhead, in the column which houses all the other composables, we want every composable we write to also maintain that padding from the top to the left instead of everything starting from the uttermost beginning. So after this padding, or after this background, because that's how compose works. It depends on the hierarchy of way in which you arrange it. So call dot padding here, and then we give it a padding of 8 dp. So once this reloads, you see that the it will basically go down, but I'm mostly interested in the left and to the right also. So as you can see, that just happened. So I will increase this bottom and give this 16 dp. So after we're done with that, we have a lazy column in which we have items, and these items we haven't yet fetched yet, so I will just leave it like this. So I will go ahead to create another composable. Composable name will be channel names, and then I remove this modifier here. So the first thing we want is basically So here what we'll write is channel of type channel as a parameter, because when we call this method inside the lazy calling, we'll basically supply it a channel. So maybe we can use from the channel the name and also the created at. So inside here we'll have a card. Well, I mostly like starting with calling. I don't know why. You can start with anything you want. So give this a modifier. So modifier dot fill max width. So this will fill max width. We don't need to specify the padding again since we've already done it here, and we will call it inside this. We'll call the composable function inside the lazy calling. Then, since we're not really following the design, we can just basically design anything. So we can write we can call card now. So what will be in that card? We can basically control P, then see all what is inside. So modifier is equal to modifier dot height. I want the height to be at least 20 dp. Then we'll just have a text, so we can test this app now. Call it channel name. So I will, instead of calling that, I will call this composable function channel name, and then I will supply its channel, and then the instance of it will be name is equal to something. So up to this. So this is basically what we have. So instead of giving it a height, I will give this a padding modifier. Modifier dot padding, and then the padding I want the top, or we can give this vertical. I want this to be 40 dp. So we can just test random things, and then they will come out here. So this is it. Although this is not really necessary, I'll just leave this for now as a normal modifier. But for the text, I will modifier dot padding is equal to this also. Then the font size should be 32.sp. So we don't use dp for text size, rather what we use is sp. So one thing you notice is that the text for some reason has a default background color separates from the, I think that's because of the card for some reason. Yeah, that's because of the card. So I will remove this from here. Then I'll give the card to fill max width. Fill max width. So when this loads, you will see that it will fill the max width. I really don't know what's taking it time to load. I will close it and then I will open it back. Make like this. Close this again. Okay, it's still taking time to load, so I can go here to clean the project, and nothing is happening for some reason. I don't know why. so the grounding build is finished. So now we expect this to show again. Okay, so now as you can see, channel name is showing. So I think that's all I basically want. I basically want to display. So now I can I can give this a okay background color. Give this a background color. Then we call it. So background color is color dot dark. Should I say dark gray? Dark gray. So our application is not. I don't really need it to be okay. So this dark gray. Blah, blah, blah. I don't think anything even change. I don't know if it's me. Okay, the background is not changing for some reason. Okay, so instead of rewriting the modifier here, I can copy it and paste it here. Okay, and then I remove this for everything. So this will still give it its padding. Okay, so fill marks with padding, then color is black, so I will interchange this. So that's composable for you. You arrange it anyhow, then your output is basically garbage in, garbage out. So here is black, this is black ball. The text for some reason is not, the channel name is not dark. So I can try to do is modifier is equal to modifier dot background color dot black 2. Okay, so this is black, but the other places here is not so. Then what I can do is that I can separate this, give this to fill max width. The text will fill the max width of this. So I think everything is black. Although I don't want the background of the text. The text should be, I gave it dark gray. So let's see the changes. Okay, this also should be dark gray. So the next thing we have is since this is a card, we want this to have some sort of border. So from he has a border. So shape shape shape. So shape is called rounded. rounded corner shape, and then it will be 16 dp. So I basically want this to the edges should be curved in some sort of way. So sorry, some sort of way. So shape. Okay. So this isn't supposed to be here. This is for so copy this or cut it or so I can remove this here. So after all this, this one should be curved. Then I think we're basically done with this. So I can then call. So let's go back to the feature home view model. So channel is only being called when we add channel. So when this is initialized, we should also be called. So we know how to call it from the UI. Want to call it anytime it's being called. Yeah. So inside, can do it outside. So val view model, home view model is equal to home. Sorry, it's equal to hilt view model like that. So we have basically initialized the hills view model. So another thing we can have is val channels is equal to view model dot channels dot state rather. So this will the state contains the value of the channels gotten from the Firebase real-time database. So from these channels we can access the value. So in our lazy column, we'll call this method that can only be called within the scope of the lazy column. So we are not going to use this. Rather, what we are using is items, which is of type list. So I'll call channels, but this time I'll call channels dot value. So argument type, actual type is list of channel, but int was expected. So that's basically because of what we are using. So I'll call this rather, and then I will call channel, and then I'll call channel name, then I'll pass in channel inside. So that's basically all what we can do. So the logic for getting all the old channels has been done, but what about adding the channel? So one thing about Jetpack Compose is that you can, on the XML you have to create a fab, a floating action bar, but in Jetpack Compose everything can be done within the scaffold. So we can put a comma here, then what we can write next, you can see everything here. So there's a top bar, we're not interested in that. So what we use is a floating action bar, which is a composable, and then I will call floating action button. I will call the floating action button. So inside here contains on click. So that on click will be for now won't be anything. So inside here we can write in whatever we want inside to be inside the floating action bar. So in my case, I write an icon image vector is equal to icons dot field dot I need a add, exactly, add. Then the content description is equal to add new channel. So I think this is when you press and hold it, it will bring out that helpful whatever. So uh, so when we click on this floating action button, I do not really want to go to next page. Rather, what I just want is that a bottom sheet fragment should rather open from the beginning of our Android phone, and then we can put in the name of the channel name we want, and then it will be added. So I will create yet another composable. I'll call it channel add channel name. So I remove this, and inside here, what will be inside here basically is on string. So this is of type string. It will contain this is function, scoping function. So we do not want to return anything. Rather, we want to make use of whatever we will store inside this on string function. So inside here, I want to basically open up a modal bottom sheet. Okay, I mistakenly wrote model. So this modal bottom sheet, exactly. So this is it. So the parameters, it's on dismiss request what we want to happen when we click on dismiss, and also sheet state is equal to remember modal bottom sheet state. So this is just basically it's been so write this for that error to disappear. So I'll call this method add channel name. Okay, I think Android Studio is using a lot of my CPU resource. I mean, I can really feel my laptop lagging still. Okay, so that's that. So for the undismissed request, we okay. So let's just write this first. So we give this a calling. So that calling will really contain much, rather than an outlined text field, and that text field, the value will basically be well, let's just give that a true for now. And on value change, then the place holder, for now everything is empty string, so this is comma instead of yeah. So right here I can write var name is equal to remember remember state mutable state of. So that will be the value for the value parameter in the outline text field. So uh, name dot value. If you don't want to write this value, you can just simply write by here. So you don't really need this value again. But you have to update import some things like the set value and also the get value. So inside here, right, name is equal to it. So basically that's just it. Then text name text is equal to add channel add channel name. So that's it. The reason why this is showing errors because we haven't imported the get value or the set value. So get value. So this get value. So I can copy this port, but this case what I'm importing is the set value. The error should be okay. Sorry. So sorry. So this is var rather. So that's that. So we have an outline text field. So I'll use a spacer to separate some modifier. So modifier is equal to modifier dot height. The thing that should can be 20 dp. Doesn't really matter. And then we have a button. A button is on click. For now, nothing is there. And then what I want to happen inside this button. So first of all, let me see how the okay it won't really show unless we run the application. Yeah, unless we run the application. So I will call this method. I will call the method on string and I'll be passing name inside. I'll be passing name inside. So inside here, so if I want this to show the modal bottom sheet, I can just create a variable show bottom dialog is equal to remember mutable state of false. So by default it's false. So if this is true, then the modal bottom sheet state should basically show. So on dismiss request, we want this on dismiss. We want this to happen. So this is another scoping function. So we'll pass this inside here. So on dismiss request is basically on dismiss like this. So no parameters here. So here inside the floating action bar, we will simply just show bottom dialog. The value is equal to true. So anytime we click the floating action bar, that modal bottom sheet dialog will pop out. It will pop out and then to show. So then in our add channel method, the on dismiss request. So when we tap outside the screen, that means we want the modal bottom sheet state to disappear. This function will be called inside, and then what we want, we will just simply set this value show bottom dialog to be false again. So now inside the still inside the scaffold, I can write an if condition. So if and only if show bottom dialog dot value. So if this is true, so I can just simply write this like this. So if this is true, so I will call add channel name, and then I will provide on string. So on string, what do I want to happen when this is called on string? So I want to store view model dot what? View model dot add channel. So I'll call the channel name, and then that will be it. So where I'm getting the it from is from this string inside here. So this is a scope function. This is the basis of Kotlin. So this is, just think of this as a function. Its return type is unit, meaning it doesn't return anything, just like all these other composable function doesn't return anything. So by default, I can even put a unit here and nothing will happen. But this writing that is a little bit verbose. On string, meaning I then call this function and then I gave it its parameter. So this parameter, I give it an argument name. So this name is being uh sorry, I'm not supposed to write inside here. Rather, I'm supposed to write it inside here on click. So whenever the button is being clicked, so this is basically writing text here. So text is equal to add channel name. So that's that. So when this button is being clicked, on string will be called as in this function, and then the name will be added. So this, it's okay. So sorry, I will add channel name, then it will be this, and then instead of it, I'll write channel name, channel name inside here. So the reason why is because he gave me a warning, so I just basically abided by by that warning. So this is on dismiss request. So what do I want to happen? So show bottom dialog is equal to false. But also when I use the view model, when I add the channel and then it's being saved to the Firebase real-time database, I do not still want the model bottom sheet dialog to keep on, to continue to still be there, to still be visible. So I will also show bottom dialog false. So the only thing that is setting it to true is our floating action bar, and then this add channel name, it won't, like I said, it won't show. So I will. So I think basically done. I think we are basically done. So what we have done in this episode is we created our home screen. Our home screen, we floating action bar. So we created the business logic, get all the channels, and also add the channels from the Firebase real-time database. And also we learned about the modal bottom sheet dialog. So this video is actually getting too long, so I will end here. So in our next episode, we will run this application, and also if there's any feature, if there's any bugs, we will solve it on the way. So yeah, thank you very much.